Where on earth do I start with this introduction? I've got no idea. We still haven't won a game. We've lost multiple first team players in the January window so far. We've had an embargo. We've had a takeover. And we've got the biggest game against the only side below us in the league today. Add to that deadline day. But the turning point may already have come for our career. Let's go and find out why. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 13 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. It might be unlucky for some, but this could be the most important episode of our career. We'll talk about all the reasons why from both an Airbus and a personal point of view at the moment, because up to this week, things had been disastrous for us, but I think we finally turned a corner. We'll talk about all of that, but if you're looking forward to finding out why, as well as seeing our game a bottom of the table 6-pointer against Llandudno and transfer deadline day too, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe for daily FM23 content. We'll be back with our Build a Nation in the morning. You can find that save in the eye above if you've missed it so far. There's plenty of save idea videos up there too, with FM23's full release coming next week. And finally the Twitch channel, where we're live almost every single day. But thank you very much for coming along, and I don't even know where to start. As I said in the intro, I think we're just going to go in chronological order. So let's start with the results, because we've had a few games, and then we've had a 2.5 week break, largely due to being out of a cup, and due to the weird scheduling of the league. But let's have a look at it. Through the schedule, we have played, since you were last with me, 3 competitive games and 1 friendly, because we had to do something in an 18-day break. We lost 2-1 to Newtown in that crucial game after the battering by TNS. The rotation that we gambled on in yesterday's episode, it didn't work. We got back on terms with 7 minutes to go, and we still somehow threw it away. After that, a very creditable draw at Connors Quay. Again, letting in a goal late on. That could have been 4 points instead of 1, and it would have been a very different story. We then went out of the cup at the semi-final stage. Payroll got 2, but it wasn't enough. And then carnage off the pitch. Because if we go to the transfers, you will see this window. Problems. Lots of stuff potentially going on there. Weirdly, lots of players getting poached despite the fact that we're really struggling. But if we have a look at the history, 2 of our 5 best defenders have left the club. Michael Kamara, our first choice left back, to Pennybon. He went just a week or so ago and he's going to be first choice there. So we've lost a real superstar. And then the second one is Charlie Heald, who was our only backup defender. So we are getting significantly weaker. You can see no one's come in. And that's with good reason. Because if I go back to the transfer centre, there was an offer in for this guy, Harry Petterson of Spennymoor, who isn't perfect, but fairly versatile down the centre of the pitch and would have been a good addition to our squad. As that deal was getting done and he was discussing his contractual terms with the director of football, this then happened. We'd had a few days of warning for it, 2 or 3 in the media, and we suddenly got put under transfer embargo, pending a takeover from the fans' trust, who were hoping to clear the debt. And they've done that. If we look at what happened, it was actually only a day later, but it was enough to stop that deal. We've got new directors coming in to replace the old ones, and we also had a clearance of the debt. We tried to avoid relegation. We've still got the same objectives largely, but more importantly than that, we were back in the black financially. So we asked for an extra coaching space so we could get in an assistant manager. And we asked for a coaching badge. Not expecting much because we're in an awful run of form. We've been 15, 16, 17, 18 games without a win. I've lost count now. But if we go to our home screen, it was agreed. And we are now studying for our National C licence. That is the most important thing in progressing in this career. Having badges on the way. And I hope that will make a very big difference. You'll be able to find a news message actually a little further up here. We were allowed to study for our coaching qualifications, start catching up with our team, and an extra coaching space. So hopefully the director of football, once he's got deadline day out the way, can then go and get me an assistant, because he opted for a goalkeeping coach instead of that in about October, and we could do with another one now. Just another pair of hands in training, but also some players, because let's look at the brutal side of things. Yes, some of our players have signed new deals, the likes of Grinnell, Craig Davis, etc. But this is our first team squad. It's largely under 19s. Loads of those are getting swept away. and the squad is weaker than it's ever been. We don't actually have more than 4 defenders in the first team squad, so this is going to be pretty brutal. Add to that the timing of now playing the only side below us in the league, and it is a 3-horse race for relegation yet again. This time, the 2 promoted clubs, Carmarthen and Llandudno, and us. But can we be the ones that survive? Let's go and get closer to finding out by getting through today's big fixture. It's Airbus v Llandudno, it's 11th v 12th. We are nearly 20 games without a victory. How on earth are we going to get on? Hopefully with a much needed win and a much better performance. But let's go and find out, see the team we can pick, and then the focus will be on the director of football. Well, after dipping into the youth team yet further, we do have an 18-man squad for today's game. Bradley Borge is the goalkeeper from the start. Curtis Jones is now the only left back in the first team squad. Masrani will start over on the right. Owen and Parry back in at centre half. That's fine. The backups not so much, but it's all right. We've got Palmer, Jenkins, Grinnell and Davis, the midfield diamond. Davis and Payrelade up front because Payrelade is scoring goals. Morgan's on an epic goal drought, so I'm going to trust the lad. Alongside Davis, fingers crossed he'll get some goals. Scored the 2 in the cup game. Scored the 1 as we won against Kefan Druids in the friendly. A 1-0 victory against lower league opposition. And he's doing all right. He's rejected loads of moves away. I know he's committed. Let's get into it. See if he can deliver. I've basically spent the last month doing everything possible to keep morale on side, whether it be team meetings, individual chats, little training things, little rest, little media comments, whatever it is. But this is the side we're up against. They've got George Pearce, who of course scored one of the goals in that 4-all thriller a couple of episodes ago. He was released by us after not playing last summer. Clayton Green, the former skipper of Pontypridd, and Joe Marks at the back. I recognise the name, but not sure where from. So let's just go and get into the first half, get the game out the way. Deadline day is going to be crucial, but avoiding defeat here, perhaps even more so. The sacking could yet come this episode. Well, we're back after a quiet 25 minutes, and what a way to return. Seriously, Joe Jenkins flies into a tackle. He had no chance of winning it. And now he's leaving me with a decision to make. Oh, what an absolute clown. We'd finally got a reaction from one of the team talks. We'd finally started a game without looking at huge danger at the back. And now this. I mean, I don't even know what to do. Who do I take off? Payrelade is our only goal threat at the moment. Davis is by far the best striker at the club. It's an impossible situation. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop Davis in. We'll drop back to balanced and we're just going to play like that. I know it's not ideal. It's not what we really want. The game's carrying on. Why is the highlight carrying on? I didn't even say to continue. But we've gone 1-0 down from a set piece anyway. I mean, this is an unmitigated disaster. We're 1 down. We're a man down. And in a game we had to win, we could end up bottom of the league. I mean, we're going to get sacked, aren't we? The board haven't helped us. The staff haven't helped us. The director of football stole half of our defence off. But fingers crossed we can nick something. A draw now becomes a good result. It's half time. We're 1-0 down. You can see from the stats we've had the better of it. And before the red cards, they hadn't had a kick. We're going to pump the fist. Keep doing what you're doing. I can see why they're nervous, frustrated and anxious. Because Jenkins, I mean, what an idiot. I've finally got him in the team above the experienced Edwards and he's done that. I guess because we haven't got an attacking midfielder now, let's play a little bit more direct. Let's not play out of defence. In fact, let's just go long. We've got 2 strikers up there who can head the ball. So let's go long to them. Let's get it over the top. We've got to take liberties here. Distribute towards the target men, right up the top of the pitch. In fact, we'll go over the defence entirely. And then out of possession, I mean, I can't change much of that. But fingers crossed, with half a game to go, we can find a way through it. Well, at the hour mark, it's been relatively quiet, but that's probably a good thing for us. The goal kick there from Borge, though, not so much. It comes down the right-hand side with James. I remember him causing absolute chaos in the last meeting between us, and he's picked the ball up on the right again here. Grinnell nicks it, though. Get it over the top. They're playing shorter passing now than when I had it on short passing and kept complaining they were going long. Now they're playing lovely stuff. Of Sports Interactive just put the sliders the wrong way round because we're now trying to play liquid football when we've got it on more direct passing. I'm absolutely puzzled by this. Either that or the lads just deliberately ignore everything we do. It's over to the right, Masrani to Davis. He does just hoof it and it goes to no one. Kirkman on the left finds Parsons. If they score again, it's game over. And what's the defender doing again? The covering defender. I've got to show you the replay of this. I hope it goes back far enough. We'll do some in-game tactical analysis here, because the covering defender is absolutely baffling me in this year's game. Let's show this goal again. I'm going to try and pick out the moment here. So this is our covering defender, Owen. This is the centre forward running through. He's on cover. He's due to sweep up and drop off more and follow the instructions of a low defensive line. So as this ball comes through, you've got the striker running towards goal. Look what Owen does. He steps up. He's now here. Why is he running forward when he is a centre half on a covering duty? And I actually find it's worse on a covering duty than it is for anything else. This is our stopper. He's doing the covering. I don't understand. The tactical elements of this year's game are blowing my mind. No matter what you say about reputation, player ability, etc., that is not a covering centre half. And even in other saves where we've been doing really well, like the one on stream, we're seeing exactly the same thing. That is definitely a problem. Let's go and get back into it though. We're 2-0 down now. Borges did well from the initial one. It's a good finish from Owen. And a sacking's on the way because we are going to be marooned a little bit at the bottom of the table. Carmarthen only 1 down. We need them to lose. But what on earth do I do in terms of subs now? I might as well go back to some sort of shape. Bring McQueen on for Payrollade. Not had a good game. Not got a good mentality here. And then alongside him in midfield, Granell will come off for Edwards. He will go as a deep line playmaker. And then at the back, Curtis Jones struggling. We don't have a left back other than one out the youth team. Do I want to bring him on at this point? Low determination. It's not ideal. So let's look at the rest of the subs. Dion Nichols, are you worth bringing on? No. Adam Davis has got to stay on. So I'm just going to leave it at that. There's nothing else on the bench that improves us. So let's just hope. Can Davis hold it up? He does for McQueen. Get us a goal. Get us back in it. McQueen passes it straight back to them. It was a relatively simple ball as well. Kirkman gets the ball on the left. Over the top. He's at it again, Bailey Owen. Jesus Christ. You're a defensive covering defender. Where is the sweeping? I cannot take him running past the ball every time. Because whatever's happening and whatever you say, they ain't covering, that's for sure. McQueen gets in, might get a consolation here. He doesn't. He puts it over an open goal. I mean, that sums up the day nicely. Jones will come off. He'll be replaced by Kurd at left back. Davis will give a rest for Ethan Morgan. Oh my, are we even going to make it through deadline day? Dion Nichols on. Joe Jenkins, you will be getting a hefty fine, my son. Because it's 3-0 Llandudno. Are we bottom of the league? We'll wait for a minute to find out. Carmarthen thankfully lose. It stays close. But this is getting very, very tough to take. Everything that can possibly go wrong does. We're going to tell the lads I'm disappointed. Let me get an individual chat out. Where is Jenkins? Where are you? You've gone off. You've been sent off. Looking nervous. Too right as well. Throw the water bottle. You were unacceptable. Appears disheartened. Not as much as I was when you got the stupid red card. What an absolute idiot. Through to deadline day. And I think bar 4 or 5 first team level players, relegation and sacking is on the cards. I think this is now challenging the periods we had Chris Casper as director of football as our hardest spell ever in the head coach. I can't remember ever being this frustrated in this series in all the years I've done it. Joe Jenkins, he's going to go. He might get upset if I go beyond it, but I'm fining him 2 weeks' wages. He's basically cost us survival there and he might have cost me my job. Ethan Morgan, 12 games without a goal. 18 league matches without winning. The next stage split, well, it's going to be tricky, isn't it? I can't see us winning any game at the moment. Let's have a look at the club vision. Somehow we're still a C with the board. C- with the supporters. They're losing patience. But it's all about deadline day now. And you've got to be big. Well, 1 day to go in a transfer window. No sign of a player coming in. No sign of any offers. But we have got an assistant manager. Michael Parker. 36 years of age, 110 quid a week. I mean, he's not bad. He's a better coach than our actual coaches. He's good working with youngsters. He's decent judgment, decent tactical knowledge. It's an upgrade. It's a help. Only just retired, so got plenty to give. Let's hope he'll make an impact. We've also got repayments towards a loan, which was taken out by the new fans trust. So, although we gained 85 grand and it let me get a coaching badge, it's not anything that the club's not got to pay back. So let's go and get through to deadline day. There better be an offer this time. If we have another silent one, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might go insane. Transfer deadline day in Wales. We have got 1 day until we face Carmarthen in a crucial clash. We are bottom, but we're all on 14 points, so it's only goal difference separating us. It's basically that defeat against TNS, but what we've seen so far today is not good news, because if we scroll up to today's action, we have been told it's deadline day. There's been an offer for a young right back. There's been an offer for one of our young left backs. We, though, have made offers for no one. Thanks, Liam Thomas. You are going to be joining a two-man list with Chris Casper by the end of today, aren't you? You better spark into action, son. 2 players have rejected moves away, but one of the youngsters, Bailey Tyboskin, is going to be leaving us. He goes to Flint Town. He's not near the first team, but if we lose any more defenders, he might have been. 12 o'clock, no offers so far. How can you let 2 of the best defenders at the club go and not sign a single player? He'd even put in a loan bid before the embargo. I'm baffled. Liam Thomas, 5 for judging ability and potential, 4 for negotiating. You might as well make that a 0 at this point, because you're not even willing to put an offer in. I genuinely don't believe my eyes here. Now, those of you that have followed me for a long time will know I'm relatively calm when it comes to Football Manager. I'm not a keyboard smasher or a desk smasher or anything like that. This is the closest to enraged I've ever been. I am absolutely speechless that you can sell 2 of the defenders that were in your first 18, bring nobody in whatsoever. How do you expect change if you don't make any changes to the squad? How do you not upgrade things? 31 deals done in the Welsh Premier League in January. 2 of them are players that have gone to other clubs in the top tier from us, and we have bought nobody in. Oh, it's so frustrating. I can see one of the ones Newtown have bought in as well. Big upgrade on what we've got, let me tell you that. Edwards, the story of last deadline day, removed from our shortlist. There's no surprise in that because we weren't going to sign him. Let's get through the transfer deadline. Register the squad, which is completely unchanged. Or in fact, we've not even got enough players. We're going to have to add another one in here. So pay relayed will go in. We're so short. This is the worst squad we've had the whole time. How can we get 4 transfer windows in and be worse with every single one? Oh, Liam Thomas, we are very much a mile apart in terms of being aligned here. Let's go to the job centre. Is there anything about? Because he's even gonna make this episode shorter, hasn't he? It's weird that we've got 36 countries loaded and there's very few jobs actually popping up at the moment. And there's certainly none that we've got a chance of getting. So I'm going to have to sit here frustrated. I don't see how we hold on to our job because we're what was it, 19 games without a win now? And it's not going to end anytime soon, is it? Because the squad's just got weaker in January. I've no idea how we get out of this mess other than being sacked. I'm going to go to the tactics. I'm going to set the 2 defenders to defend. And that's going to be our plan for the season. But look, we've got a greyed out centre half there at the bottom. So Football Manager obviously knows we need one because he's asking us to have a greyed out one for the squad. We're going to have to promote more players from the youth team after Jenkins' suspension. And his idiocy in the first game just annoys me yet further. Let's have a look at the schedule for what we're going to do. Because despite the signing of an assistant manager, I think this is going to be an uphill battle. I'm going to come back in the middle because let's be honest, Llandudno and Carmarthen are the only 2 teams we've got a chance against now. You wouldn't have thought it from the game you saw earlier in this episode, but they're the 2 teams we've got to beat. We've got them at home in the middle of March. That's what we're going to show. And hopefully we can produce a miracle. Again, we're still level on points with both. It's not a foregone conclusion, but we've got to deliver. And how we do that with the weakest squad we've ever had, I just don't know. I'm out of ideas. Let me know in the comments if you've got any divine inspiration. What do you think of that covering defender thing? And how do you explain the fact that our director of football, 2 windows in a row, has done absolutely nothing on deadline day? Add to that the 2 that have gone this window. That is now 10 first team players that have left us this year and only 3 that have come into the club. We've got no chance. The youth intake might save us, but it'll probably come too late. If you're looking forward to finding out if we can do it though, if we can just sneak 1 point above these 2 promoted sides, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe for daily FM23 content. I'll try my best to lift my spirits in the meantime, and speaking of that, you can find that playlist up in the eye above. I'm in charge of transfers there, so I'm not quite as frustrated, but in all of our years doing a head coach over here, this is the worst I can remember it. I honestly cannot think of a time I've been more frustrated by a director of football and by performances on the pitch too. So hopefully you'll come and join me for more pain at the same time tomorrow. All the other playlists in the eye above and platforms down in the description below. But thank you very much for watching, for putting up with my misery. I'm sure some of you are really enjoying this, but let me tell you, I'm not.